I have chosen Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Liverpool Football Club. He's very charismatic. When you see him on the touchline at games, you see his personality shine through and inspires players. He's very empathic. Many of his current and former players has expressed how he really cares about their development, not only as a footballer but in general. He has a lot of integrity and care a lot about winning and showing good sportsmanship while doing it. I would call him a transformational leader because he's very inspirational. When he speaks, people really listen and buy into his philosophy and trust him to be their leader. He's definitely the most popular manager amongst fans and players in Liverpool for the last 20 years. He's really encouraging, has great ability to cultivate talent and get the best out of the materials he's given. He took over at Borussia Dortmund before Liverpool. He did it at a time when the club almost went bankrupt and managed to knock Bayern Munich off the pedestal and win back-to-back titles with far, far less means. Now he's on his way to doing the same at Liverpool. He's my favorite leader, first of all, because of his ability to make a team perform a lot better than the sum of the parts. He has an integrity and cares a lot about others than himself. He's a unique, charismatic personality and really know how to inspire, motivate, and encourage. And that, for me, would be a leader everyone should look up to.
The leader I chose is Jorge Paulo Lemann, the Brazilian investor. He founded the Garantia Bank in Brazil, that is one of the most important banks in Latin America. And he also is the co-founder of 3G Capital. This impressionist group owns Burger King, Heinz sauce, also owns AB InBev, and I admire him because he, through hard work and meritocracy, become one of the richest people in the world. He's in 29th position in Forbes list, and he shows and he inspires me to how to manage a group. He's one of the most influential leaders in Brazil because he had a transformational leadership on how he believed in teams and in people. One of their principles that I read his book, or the book about him, is invest always and above all in people. And I recommend very much his book Sueño Grande, that is about his life and the life of his organizations. But I think this is a true example of leader, because he works hard and show to the world how Latin American can be successful in the world through effort and through gather the best people. So Jorge Paulo Lemann is my leader.
For my leader, I chose Massimo Bottura. He's been one of the world's best chefs for the past 10 years, and I think he's the example of how a leader can change over time. He started out as a skill-based leader. He's a chef, he led a team, and his skills and creativity allowed him to become successful in the culinary world. He then changed into a transformative leader. He revolutionized what people think of Italian cuisine nowadays, and all his work has been groundbreaking ever since. And he is now transformed into a servant leader. He started our foundation, where he feeds over 300 people in Milan every day with his foundation Food for Soul, which is meant to encourage other chefs in the world to serve the food that is left over.
So I choose Henry Ford as the leader I want to talk about. I see him as one of the most important role models in my life. He's, for me, one of the best teachers. I've read a lot of lectures about him. And, well, the type of leader, I think he's two types of leader. He's a very transformative leader and skill-based leader. Why? This is due to the skills he had. He knew and he revolutionized all the processes when talking about manufacture companies and building things. This all based in car culture, which is one of my favorite topics. He was super influential in the U.S. after the Second World War because he brought millions of new jobs to the Americans. About his traits, he's considered one of the most emotional, intelligent leaders out there. He's super high energy person. He was able to to manage a huge group of people, self-confidence and high charisma.
The leader I chose was Brian Chesky. He's the founder and CEO of Airbnb. I chose him because he's a great leader. He built Airbnb and now is valued in more than $30 billion. He's one of the biggest companies in the world. They changed a whole industry, the tourism and hotel industry. They reinvented that category and give it a new solution. And one of the things that I admire of him is that on the early days of Airbnb, it was very hard for them. Investors and many people told them that that was the worst idea they have ever listened. But one of the traits of Brian Chesky is that he had a lot of self-confidence and personal drive and energy, which make him like many people told him that this couldn't happen and that no one wants to share like his house with a stranger, but he was convinced and determined to do this. Also, he has a lot of emotional intelligence for controlling his feelings when they told him like all these ugly things about Airbnb at the beginning and no one believed in this, but he had a goal and a vision about that and he continued believing on that. He's a transformational leader. He inspired other people and convinced them to do this crazy thing of letting a stranger in your house. No one think that this could be possible, but he with his vision inspired investors, clients, founders, and that transformational thing he has is what it made Airbnb so successful. And he also wants to give a good environment on the cultural part of the company, so that people feel empowered to give more ideas of Airbnb, to feel that they are working with him on that vision that he has, that more than renting some spaces, he wants like a cultural exchange between people.